ではメディアの皆さん、撮影をお願いいたします。
Oh, yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for having me here in Tokyo. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for coming. You know, the first season of the show really was showed the birth, the evolution of the birth of a hero, the evolution of a man into a superhero. We saw Matt Murdock become Daredevil, and face a clear villain in Wilson Fisk. What was exciting for me about the second season is that it asks kind of a slightly more complicated question, really, which is what makes a hero? How do you define a heroic act? You know, and you know, are heroes a valid commodity in modern society? And those kind of questions, which I think for a superhero show is a sophisticated, interesting concept. One of the things that we've done with this show is we've tried to we use no CGI. Everything all the stunts are practical, and hopefully what that does is that's very clear in the shooting of it, in the filming of it, in the way that it's presented. And so what that does hopefully is it draws the audience back into to action sequences and makes you feel quite energized and excited and nervous by what you see. We have an extraordinary stunt coordinator called Phil Silvera who choreographs these scenes with such a delicate balance of kind of violence and dance and kind of characterful moments, which in action sequences isn't always easy. And hopefully hopefully the point with those scenes in our show is that they're not just action sequences and for the sake of being action sequences. They are also telling a story. Every punch, every kick tells a story. That's the hope, at least. When Frank Castle shows up, when John Bernthal playing Frank Castle, when he shows up, initially Matt Murdock would like to pigeonhole him in the same way that he did Wilson Fisk. He looks at this man and he says, right, you're another villain, you're another evil character, you need to be brought to justice, in the same way that Wilson Fisk was. But what's different this year is that very quickly Matt has to realize that actually things are not that black and white. And if anything, Frank Castle is more similar to Matt than he would care to recognize. Although their methodologies are different, their motives are the same. They're both trying to do the same thing. And that's immensely scary for someone like Matt. So that's an interesting dynamic, I think. In season 2 of Daredevil, we don't so much have a villain, we have what we call an anti-hero. What else is going on in Matt's life is that whilst beginning the romance with Karen Page, his partner at the law firm and someone he admires greatly and respects and brings out the best in him, his ex-girlfriend Elektra shows up, played by Elodie Yung. Matt is in a very tricky situation. I think he's probably in a situation that a lot of young men recognize, and young women for that matter. He's being pulled in two different directions, but both of the women that we're talking about, he's able to be completely himself with both of them, but in different ways. With Karen, she brings out the kind Matt, the generous Matt, the selfless Matt, the Matt that operates within the law. So he's authentic with her, but he's not completely himself because she doesn't know about Daredevil. With Elektra, the opposite is true. She knows him as Daredevil. She loves him as Daredevil. She encourages him to be Daredevil and to be the darker side of Matt, to bring out the disregard for law and people's property and all those things. We get to see a kind of a man become a walking paradox. He becomes major contradictions of himself, and I think that's actually quite human. I think often as people we feel like we simultaneously want or believe two very different things. Yes, thank you. It is my first visit to Japan, but sadly, I have not left the hotel yet. I got here late last night, and I'm working all day today, but I actually do have some time tomorrow morning. Before I leave, sadly it's a very short visit, and I hope to come back at another time to stay longer. But in the small period of time that I have tomorrow, my plan at the moment is to eat some great sushi, and to see the cherry blossoms. Those seem to be the things that everyone is talking about at the moment. But I'm open to suggestions. So if anyone's got any ideas, let me know. Well, hopefully not what Matt did, which was grab a knife. I don't know. And, you know, which X?
どの元カノかにもよりますよね。
可愛らしい姿でご登場です。お花をそれではチャーリーさんにプレゼントお願いします。デアデビルのマスクになっているんです。では写真撮影ですので、どうぞ前の方をご覧ください。また可愛いコスチュームでね来ていただきまして、本当に素敵ですね。
そうですね、私マーベル映画がすごく好きで、今回もすごく気になってた作品だったので、今本当に見てる最中なんですけど、もうすでにどっぷりハマってしまい、特にアクションシーンがもう何度も繰り返して見てます。
はい。ご存知ということですが、実はこんな可愛らしい武田さん、代わりもできる空手の有段者ということで、力強い女性でもあるわけなんですね。日本が誇るリアルアクション女優ということなんですが、もしチャーリーさんがデアデビルとして武田さんと戦うとしたら勝てると思いますか？
Definitely not.
絶対に負けると思います。
Not even close. I think my best chance would be to run as fast as possible.
なるべく早くで逃げ出すというのが唯一の勝利方法かなと思います。
はい。
No, you know, just to say thank you so much for coming. It's been such a pleasure to be invited here and to come along, and you know, I'm hoping obviously to come many more times in the future. We at some point, I don't know when this will be, in the end of this year or next year, we'll be doing a show called The Defenders, which will also be on Netflix exclusively, and I'm trying to encourage the marketing team to send us out here for much longer that time. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the end of this year or next year probably. So thank you so much for having me.
チャーリー・コックスさんでした。どうもありがとうございました。すごく気に入っていただけたようで、こちらもお持ち帰りいただきます。どうもありがとうございました。